This is a recording of a live webinar filmed on September 18, 2024, the second in our three-part series entitled Expert Insights Food Safety. Join us for the remaining live event on September 25th covering defoamers. Click the link in the description to learn more, or to follow us on LinkedIn to be kept in the loop of upcoming events.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the second segment in our food and beverage webinar series that we are hosting for the month of September. In case you missed it, we had CIP and OPC cleaning last week. So if you're interested in checking that out, it will be available on our YouTube channel. Feel free to message me or email me if you would like the link to that. My name is Carmen Seibert, and I will be the host for today and the call for next week. I am the product manager for food and beverage here at DuBois, and I've been with the company for just over 2 years now. As we get into today's presentation, I want to remind everyone to please direct any and all questions to the Q&A tab. That is where we will be diving into any concerns, questions, or ideas that came up after Dave's presentation. For now, though, we've got some really great information for you all today, and I will be soon handing the spotlight over to Dave Darling to go over our food-grade lubricants. First, though, I'll introduce him. Dave is definitely a great source of information here at DuBois. He is a huge fountain of knowledge, and he's been with the company since 2018. He is currently a key account manager for DuBois with extensive knowledge and experience in machine lubrication. This experience ranges from food processing and packaging facilities all the way to high-temperature conveyor chains. Dave has over 28 years of experience in various roles, and today he is here to give insight into our lubes package. So without further ado, Dave, I'll hand it over to you and let you kick it off.
Sure. Thank you, Carmen. And hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to give you a short course on lubrication basics, followed by the history and requirements of food-grade lubricants. And then we're going to finish with what DuBois can provide to food and food packaging manufacturers. So again, without further ado, whenever you have moving parts that can come in contact with each other, you need lubrication. So what are the 7 functions of a lubricant? Number 1, and by far the most important, is to reduce friction. Friction causes heat and wear, and neither of which is good for any machine. A second function is to clean the machine, to cool moving elements, to prevent contamination or seal, to dampen shock, to prevent corrosion, and to transfer energy, which you see a lot in hydraulic systems. There are 2 basic components of every lubricant: your lubricant base oil or base stock, and your additive chemistry. Base oils are divided into 5 categories or 5 groups, numbered 1 through 5. Groups 1 and 2 are mineral oil based. Groups 3, 4, and 5 are synthetics. Now, if you look at this slide, you'll see sulfur percentage, saturates percentage, and viscosity index. You want products on the refined products, which are groups 1, 2, and 3. You want products that are low in sulfur and high in saturates with as high as viscosity index as possible. Group 1 doesn't meet any of these requirements, and that's the reason why we don't use any group 1 oils in any of our product formulations. Group 2 is low in sulfur, high in saturates, and viscosity index is the change in viscosity of the product with change according to temperature. You want a product that's going to maintain its viscosity regardless of temperature changes. The viscosity index is a measurement of that result, and the higher the number, the better. Group 3 oils are highly refined mineral oils to the point where they become synthetic. They refine them so much that they become man-made or not of this, something that is not natural to this planet. Group 3 synthetics the base oils make up most of your automotive engine oils. So if you go to get your oil change in your car and you get a synthetic motor oil, chances are that oil is going to be a group 3 synthetic. Your group 4 synthetics are what are called polyalpha olefins, or PAOs. These are used extensively in the industrial markets. They have great low temperature properties and much better high temperature properties than mineral oils. You will see these in food applications and many other industrial applications. Your group 5 synthetics are all other synthetics that are not in groups 1 through 4. Those will include products that are made of polyol esters, polyalkylene glycols, silicones. They're mostly products that are used in very, very high temperature applications that you might find in oven chain conveyor lubes or high temperature gearboxes or even jet engine lubricants. The second part of a lubricant is the additives. The additives, the performance of a lubricant base stocks can be enhanced by the addition of certain chemical compounds. Additives not only enhance the existing properties of the base oil, but can also impart new ones. So what are the typical treat levels of additives with the base oils? So in automotive, additives play a much bigger role. They can be up to 25% of the lubricant is additives, very, very stringent requirements in automotive engines. Industrial, not nearly as much. And industrial is generally about 95% base oil and generally about 5% additive package. They can get up to as high as 15%, but generally it's in the 5% range in the industrial markets. So what are some of these additives? First of all, you have anti-wear and extreme pressure additives. These additives greatly enhance the wear properties of the oil. You'll see anti-wear additives mostly in hydraulic oils. You'll see an AW many times after a hydraulic oil designation. And you'll see extreme pressure additives in gear oils, and you'll see an EP designation for those. The requirements of a gear oil are much more stringent. They're much heavier duty than, say, a hydraulic oil. But these additives help enhance the properties of both. Okay, rust and corrosion additives. They're just what they say. They may actually coat the machine or the part or the product, and they're used to reduce the oxidation of metallic components and assist in the neutralization of acidic contaminants. Essentially, they prevent rust and corrosion to either the parts being manufactured or the machines that are making them. Oxidation inhibitors, very, very important in high temperature applications. They're used to improve the life expectancy of a lubricant at elevated temperatures. You can see that by the picture here. The picture on the left, you have oil that is free flowing after being heated. It's because it has very good oxidative stability. And on the right, you see a product that has terrible oxidative stability, and the product, when subjected to heat, turns to varnish or sludge. Okay, viscosity and lubrication. Viscosity is the most important characteristic of any lubricant. What is viscosity? When a fluid is subjected to external forces, it resists flow due to internal molecular friction. Viscosity is a measure of that internal friction, which is a very scientific way of saying it's the thickness of the oil. Well, why is viscosity important? Well, the load carrying ability of a fluid is directly related to the fluid's viscosity. And what are the effects of the differences in viscosity based on different machine requirements? Well, if you have a product, a lubricant that is too low in viscosity or thin or light, you can have metal-to-metal contact, friction and wear, poor sealing, increased oil consumption. Whereas if you have a lubricant that's too heavy, high in viscosity, heavy or thick for a particular application, you can have increased fluid friction, reduced energy efficiency, higher operating temperatures, and equipment starting difficulties, particularly at cold temperatures. So what are the temperature effects on viscosity? Well, fluids thicken as their temperature, as you know, as their temperature decreases. Fluids thin as their temperature increases. Therefore, for many, if you have an application that is subjected to a wide range of temperatures, you want a product that's going to maintain its viscosity. It's kind of the Goldilocks rule. You need a viscosity that's just right. Okay, this is, for all of you folks out there, this is a very, very important slide. This is the ISO, which is the International Standardization Organization, viscosity classification system for industrial lubricants. It's a measurement and a categorization of each product based on its viscosity as measured in centistokes at a temperature of 40 degrees C. You have these viscosity ranges on the left that go anywhere from a viscosity of 2 all the way up to a viscosity, which is very, very light, to a viscosity of 1500, which is extremely thick. The reason for this is that nearly every machine manufacturer specifies the proper lubricant by its viscosity. Many, many times, plant operators will refer to a lubricant just by its viscosity, not by the product name or by the title or whatever. I mean, we'll have companies or customers that are buying, say, our Perlube hydraulic oils. Well, I'll get a phone call from a guy. He'll say, I need the 32 hydraulic oil. I need the 68 whey oil. I need the 150 chain oil and the 320 gear oil. Those are all referencing the viscosity of the products. Very, very important to everybody in these plants. And there's 3 basic rules of thumb for per application with the selection of viscosity. The lower the temperature you need, the lighter the oil. The higher the temperature, the heavier the oil. The lighter the load, the lighter the oil. The higher the load, the heavier the oil. And the faster the speed, the lighter the oil. The slower the speed, the heavier the oil. Okay, so how you got a machine? How do you know what to put in it? Well, thankfully, this will be specified by the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer of the machine. This will be listed in the operation manual, which can be available in a hard copy with the delivery of the machine or online at the machine manufacturer's website. There's also nameplates that are affixed to the machines, which will tell you what to put in the machine. So you'll have a gearbox. It will say this gearbox requires an ISO 220 gear oil or an ISO 460 gear oil. Same thing with hydraulic systems, same things with compressors. The machine manufacturer will tell you which viscosity to put in it. They may also mention a manufacturer's name to say, you can use a product such as DuBois XYZ. Now, but they can't void any warranties based on a specific manufacturer's name. They can only do that by specification. Okay, that's a very, very quick overview on the basics of lubrication. I could get much more in depth if any of you has any questions later, but I just wanted to give you an overview of that. So let's move on to food grade lubricants. And let's start with the history. The United States Department of Agriculture, or the USDA, and the Food Safety and Inspection Service, FSIS, began authorizing lubricants for use in meat and poultry plants in contact with food in the early 60s. Now, the early food grade lubricants were based on edible oils and fats, and they were terrible lubricants. They degraded quickly, they solidified at low temperatures, they smoked when heated, and they polymerized at high temperatures. It took a long time for plant people to begin to trust food grade lubricants, which came as technology improved and the new lubricants that were developed rivaled the performance of general industrial lubricants. In 1998, the USDA decided that they were going to get out of the compliance area of these lubricants. It was just they didn't have the manpower to approve all these different products. So they put it on the manufacturers to be responsible for reviewing and approving chemical compositions of lubricants. Now, manufacturers, they didn't want all that responsibility. So that kind of spawned the beginnings of the National Sanitation Foundation, which is NSF, which took over when the USDA authorization program ended in 1998. And in 2006, we started to see where the use of food-grade lubricants became much more closely regulated in other industries, including pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, animal feeds, pet food, domestic products, and clothing. So not just, food manufacturing plants. Okay, what is a food-grade lubricant, and what is certified as a food-grade lubricant? First of all, a food grade lubricant is what they call an H1 product. This goes back to the old USDA H1 product designation. H1 products, or food grade lubricants, are used in applications where contact with food can take place, such as food processing equipment. In general, the amount of lubricant should be the minimum possible to get the desired effect. They don't want you to pour the lubricant all over the machines. They want you to use whatever's necessary to lubricate the machine. But if the lubricant gets contaminates the food, it's no problem because it's food grade approved. H1 lubricant formulations may only contain certain base stocks, additives, and thickeners that are specified by the Food and Drug Administration under regulations 21 CFR 178.3750. Usually when people refer to food grade lubricants, they mean H1 lubricants, which means they are safe for incidental food contact. Okay, what are H2 lubricants? H2 lubricants can also be used in the food industry where there is no possibility of food contact. A lot of times they would say this is below the line, below the production line. These lubricants are used on machines that are enclosed systems that will never touch any edible product. Most substances in lubricant formulations in general are acceptable as H2 lubricants, but there are restrictions pertaining to toxicology and other considerations. For example, H2 lubricants cannot contain any carcinogens, mutagens, teratogens, and other heavy metals that can contact the food. We are seeing that more and more plants are even going away from H2 lubricants. They're going H1 throughout the plant, just so that there's no possibility of any of these products coming in contact with the food. Okay, then you have your H3 lubricants, which are your soluble oils, your edible oils. These are applied to equipment that will directly contact the food. H3 lubricants may only contain edible oils that satisfy certain FDA regulations. They're products such as corn oils, soybean oils, cottonseed oils. These are typically used to clean and lubricate and prevent rust on hooks and trolleys and other such equipment that comes in direct contact with the food. Okay, so what are some of the risks? You know, this is Food Safety Month with DuBois. What are some of the food safety risks of not using food grade lubricants? And here's just a couple examples. In 1998, almost 500,000 pounds of smoked ham was recalled because gear oil leaked onto the ham. In 2002, a US-based soft drink producer recalled over 3,000 cases of a product that contained gear lubricant. And not a food grade gear lubricant, certainly something you would not want to drink. And in 2012, a Danish milk powder manufacturer recalled 1,100 tons of product that was contaminated by lubricant leaking through a worn axle in a gearbox. Any machine can leak. Therefore, these products, these plants are going food grade, either H1 or H3, almost throughout all their plants for these reasons. You know, even though food grade lubricants are typically priced higher and more expensive than conventional lubricants, their total cost of ownership can be much, much lower, and to prevent any recalls and product contamination and line shutdowns. Okay, what is NSF? As I mentioned, they took over for the USDA in compliance of food grade lubricants in about 1998. The NSF stands for the National Sanitation Foundation. And manufacturers, regulators, and consumers look to NSF International for the development of public health standards and certification programs that help protect the world's food, water, consumer products, and environment. Many plants and customers require an NSF Blue Label seal of approval on any drum or package of lubricant that goes into their plants. NSF puts out what they call a white book. You can Google nsfwhitebook.com or .org, and they will list. You can punch in the name of the company, any company you want. They will list in this white book online any company you want and what products that they have approved and certified. And this is a screenshot of just one of the pages. We have several pages. in the NSF White Book. This, you can see, it's DuBois chemicals. And to the left is a listing of many different products. It has their catalog number, and then it gives the rating. So many of these, they're H1, there's a couple H2s, and on other pages we have H3s. But if you have a prospective food lubricant customer, you can show them the NSF page so that you can show them that our products have been certified as food grade approved. Okay, so where does DuBois fit in with food grade lubricants? Well, our products are conform to USDA H1 regulations for incidental food contact. They're NSF White Book listed, as I just showed you. They're also kosher approved. And so what are some of our products and applications and products? And we have products for nearly every possible machinery application within a food or food processing plant. And here's just several listings. We have hydraulic oils. We have food grade mineral oil, food grade synthetic, and food grade fire resistant hydraulic oils that can all be used in food plants. We have mineral and synthetic gear oils. We have penetrating oils, almost like WD-40 for food applications. Again, all food grade approved. We have conveyor oven and proofer chain lubricants, high temperature and high humidity products that go into these ovens to lubricate conveyor chains. We have seamer oils that are used in canning applications. There's specific oils that are required by specific machines. We have these oils, they're food grade approved. We have food grade compressor oils. Not many people have food grade compressor oils. Most people use whatever the compressor manufacturer recommends, but these lubricants can leak, and we have the food grade products that will meet the OEM specifications and are food grade approved. We have technical wipe down oils. These are H3 products that are used, just like they said, to wipe down any equipment. These can come in direct contact with the food. We have trolley loops, when you have meat and poultry plants where you're conveying the meat and poultry byproducts from one end of the plant to the other on these hooks and trolleys. We have the lubricants that will lubricate them. And of course, we have food grade grease. We have both the mineral oil based and synthetic based food grade greases. This is kind of a snapshot of a typical data sheet of our FGA series of food grade oils. These are mineral oil based. It has a description of their excellent extreme pressure and anti-wear protection, wide temperature range, excellent water separation properties. There's a lot of washdowns in food plants. They're low in toxicity. They're long. They have great oxidation resistance. They're formulated to pass all food grade specifications. And if you look at the top right of the corner of it, you have the listing of our different viscosity grades, their typical properties such as pour points and flash points. And for the higher viscosity products, you'll have the AGMA grades, which stands for American Gear Manufacturers Association grade of product, which describes this particular product line. Here's here's a kind of a snapshot of a data sheet of our synthetic products. Again, synthetics are much better performing products at wide temperature ranges. Again, we have viscosity grades from an ISO 22 all the way up to an ISO 680, which will cover nearly every possible machinery application within a food plant. And then just going back to the food grade grease, on here I have our FG1 and our FG2. They are our mineral oil based greases. Now, greases are a base oil and a thickener. Both of these are food grade. They're made up of a white oil and the food grade additive packages with an aluminum complex thickener, again, food grade. The FG1s are generally used in automatic grease systems with long lubrication lines. The one means it's a thinner grease, it's easier to pump. Your FG2 grease is kind of your cartridge type grease. It's used in handheld grease applicators, a little thicker, a little better staying power. But again, same basic formula, just a thinner, lighter thickener. And then for high and low temperature applications, we have a PAO synthetic base oil grease with a calcium sulfonate thickener, which has tremendous lubrication properties. So what are some of the, you're driving down the road, what are some of the potential food grade lubricant markets? Well, you have bakeries and dairies and places that do food packaging, from bottles and cans to boxes and egg cartons, breweries, beverage plants, animal food plants, pellet mills, meat and poultry processing plants, and any plant that manufactures any food or food byproduct is a potential for food grade lubricants. So this is something that we've done for some of our food grade customers. We put up a color coded chart which lists all the different products that a customer might be buying from us, their application, and then a designated color to go with that application. This is all to organize the lubricants and prevent cross-contamination and misapplication in putting the wrong product in the wrong machine. You do not want to put, a hydraulic oil in a gearbox or a chain lube in a compressor. You don't want to do anything like that. So we have the colors, we have the products, we have the applications. We put these charts up in plants, and they're very, very useful. So part of the with the color coding, not only do we have the chart, but we also have a machine label that we put on the machine that matches the chart, and it'll have the specific color. It'll have an insignia like a star or a circle or a triangle, and it will list the product name that goes in that machine. Again, it is to prevent misapplication or cross-contamination of products. Those sorts of things can shut down a machine and ruin a machine. So these are all insurance policies to make sure that that doesn't happen. We also help design lubricant storage rooms. There's a lubricant storage room where you have drums set up underneath placards that are different colors and different insignias. Again, all to help with lubricant organization, lubricant cleanliness, and to prevent misapplication and cross-contamination. Now, for prospective customers, for our sales reps, if you want to find out what a particular potential customer is using for their products, you can go into the lubricant storage room and you can see what products they're using, so that if you need to match or exceed a particular product, you'll know what you're dealing with. Again, this is another lubricant storage room. We make lubricant storage vessels, we supply lubricant storage vessels. Not exactly like these, but something similar. Again, to especially in food plants, you don't want leaking drums and kitty litter and all that all over a food plant. This helps keep a food plant very clean. I wanted to show a picture of a bakery oven, and the reason for this is a small bakery oven, but the reason for this is this particular machine can use several different food grade lubricants, from the food grade conveyor chain lubricant that goes inside the oven to gearbox lubricants for the transfer gearboxes, to food grade grease that lubricates any bearings for any shafts that are within the oven. Okay, so why DuBois chemicals? Why there's many different lubricant companies that make food grade lubricants out there. Well, one of the things is we have a complete food grade lubricants product line. We have products for nearly every application that can be found within a food plant. And if you go right below, if we don't, we have over 40 research and development chemists on staff. If we don't have a product for whatever reason, we can formulate one for you. We have 17 manufacturing sites and 18 distribution locations in North America. We can supply to all corners of North America, straight from one of our distribution locations, which gives us the ability to sell direct to the consumer. We do have some distributors, but we can also sell direct to the consumer, which eliminates some middleman costs. And lastly, this, I feel like I'm in a State Farm commercial, but this reduces, we also have the ability to reduce the number of suppliers that a company must work with through the ability to bundle different food grade product lines. We can sell food grade lubricants. We can sell water treatment into food plants. We can sell cleaning and sanitation products into food plants. We can sell defoamers. We can bundle all these products to every specific customer. These are large spends for these customers, and if they have the ability to partner with one company rather than 4 different companies, they want to do that. Okay, that's my quick little presentation on lubricants and food grade lubricants. Any questions? I'm happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Dave. We do have a few that came in, so I am going to direct our attention to the Q&A tab. And if we're going through these and any come up for anyone that's listening in today, please feel free to chime in there as well. But we do have 3 on deck at the moment. So our first one, Dave, comes in and they're asking, do food grade lubricants perform as well as industrial grade lubricants?
So that's a good question. As I mentioned earlier, food grade lubricants have really come a long way in their performance properties. And food grade lubricants can handle every application within a food plant. Now, the applications within a food plant are not going to be nearly as severe as, say, applications in a steel mill. So, if you're doing a side-by-side comparison, industrial products will perform a little better in terms of wear protection and other performance properties, but they contain products such as zinc or sulfur, phosphorus, or other types of products that are not suitable for food applications. So to answer the question, food grade lubricants will handle anything that is found within a food plant. They're not quite as good as industrial lubricants, but they perform the duties that are required within a food plant.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. The next question is, I buy DuBois cleaning products. Will my rep be able to assist with food grade oils and grease?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All DuBois reps are educated in the food grade lubricants line. And if there's any questions, you can always reach out to product specialists. You can reach out to myself. I'm always happy to help any potential customer with any food grade lubricants, whether it's the customer direct or working through the rep. We send specialists into these plants. And we also, yourself as the product line manager is a valuable source of information. So yes, the DuBois reps are well versed in all product lines of DuBois, and they can help sell not only cleaning products, but lubricants, water treatment chemicals, and other products that can be used in a food plant.
Awesome. Thank you. And then our final question is, are food grade lubricants biodegradable?
Great question. The answer to that is mostly no, but some yes. So food grade lubricants are not designed to be released into the environment. Therefore, they do not require biodegradability, most products. So, like our synthetic, our white oil based food grade mineral oils, our PAOs, they are not, they have biodegradability characteristics, but they are not inherently or readily biodegradable. However, for products, for applications that require the edible oils, the H3 products, such as, products made with canola oil or soybean oil or cottonseed oil, those products are biodegradable. So those products aren't used as exclusively as lubricants within a plant, but they are biodegradable. The other ones are not, but again, they are not designed to be released into the environment.
Got it. Thank you. And I did just want to go over one of the questions that I did answer in the midst of the presentation. We had a question about the certificates again. If there's any DuBois reps on this call at the moment and you would like to receive a certificate for completing this webinar and attending today, please send an email to marketing.team@duboischemicals.com, and there you can request your certificate and they should send it along to you. Other than that, I think that is all of the questions that we had, everything that came in. I want to give a big thank you to Dave for doing this today, taking time out of your day, and everyone that attended. Great to have the support from Dave here, and I hope that everyone got something out of this presentation and were able to learn something. Our information is on the screen, so if you think of anything after the fact, please feel free to reach out to either one of us with any questions or opportunities you may have. We're always happy to help. Next week, we will be going over defoamers with Brandon Mahler, so if you're interested in that, follow the same link to sign up, and we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.